Hello Tokusatsu community, and welcome back to my SODO Sunday series here on the Toku Toy Store YouTube channel. This is the series where I cover all the latest SODO, SHODO, and Uniline figure news from Japan. And today we have a little bit of Kamen Rider Revice news, pretty much just the kind of typical stuff to talk about. Plus we actually have our next addition to the SHODO Super line. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So first up, we have Kamen Rider Revice news from last week and this week. And while we don't have a ton of stuff to cover this time around, it's still, pretty typical things for SODO Revice. So last week we got to have a first look at Kamen Rider Live, our secondary rider for the series, which I know is kind of strange because he's like the 5th rider to be on the show, but that's just kind of what they do these days. So the good version basically of Kamen Rider Evil, since they do share the same belt, the same Vice stamp, and pretty much the same undersuit, though that did not prevent SODO from deciding to do an entirely new parts of this suit. Specifically with things like the waist and the knees and stuff had to be remolded from Kamen Rider Evil because they were a little bit different on the live version of them. So I can definitely appreciate them doing that new molding and everything like that to make live as screen accurate as possible. And then kind of continuing in our, trying to play some catch up here of doing all the different Revice forms because there's still a lot to get through that they haven't done yet. We are going to be getting Kamen Rider Vice in his mammoth genome. So a while ago, probably at least a good month and a half, or maybe even 2 months ago, we got the reveal of Revi in his mammoth form, but we didn't get Vice. And all the other ones we've had like the Revi and Vice at the same time, except for here. But we are going to be getting it in by 3. So while Mammoth for Revi is in by 2, Vice in his Mammoth form is in by 3. So they're just splitting it up there and everything like that. Probably, more than likely, the last 2 boxes or some of the remaining boxes for by 3 are going to be the different pieces to make the Mammoth genome in its remix form. But we've yet to see that. So we just see him in his Mammoth form looking as accurate as it should be, and it will go great with their Mammoth from by 2. And then finally for this week, in a shocking turn of events, we got our details, or not really the details, but the announcement of our next SHODO Super Set. Now traditionally, these sets would come out alongside the Super Mini Plot, or now SMP, versions of the Mecha. So we have recently, a couple months ago, got announced the whole Gal Ranger set and everything like that. Well, we saw recently with the SHODO Super Jew Ranger set that they are willing to branch out into shows that had previously got Super Mini Plot releases, and showing that the line would not necessarily be tied to just current releases. Well, they were also talking about in a more recent blog post about how they have been working to try to expand the line to not have to be anchored to this kind of other line at the same time. And we finally have that here with Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger being the next choice for a SHODO Super Set, which was announced perfectly in time to coincide with the release of the 10 Gokaiger film, and they have yet to do any other details about how much it's going to cost, when it's going to be released, if Gokai Silver's in the set, or we don't know if he'll be his own thing or something, and we don't know what the figures are going to come with. You can assume they're Gokai sabers and guns and stuff like that, but we don't know the details of it yet. We just have this one picture to prove that it's happening. So SHODO Super is expanding, and I can't wait to see what that means for the future releases. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of SODO Sundays. Of course, until next time, thank you all for watching, and you can check out a bunch of other Tokusatsu related content from me all over the internet on YouTube at Toku Topics, Geek Each Week, and SODO Pop, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningFigPR. I'll see you all next time on SODO Sundays, and until then, Tokusatsu forever.